So today I am joined with artist Maya Golyshkina, whose thought-provoking and self-made art has been inspiring many people in the fashion and art industry. So hi Maya, thanks for coming. Um, so, I,
Uh,
so I suppose the first question we have for you is kind of who are you and what is the goal behind your designs?
so I'm an artist firstly and set designer as well. And I'm also working as a creative director, as an art director too. Yeah, I think that's it in general. But I prefer to say that I'm an artist in general, to combine all this stuff.
Yeah, sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
So behind your kind of work then itself, what first inspired kind of I don't know if you would to call them wacky, but like kind of out there designs? Like what kind of inspired them for you at the beginning?
Mm, I think I started my art path when I was really young. I was about 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, and I started to draw on my furniture. My mom was really shocked, and then she understood that I can be an artist, because I was really active and hyperactive child. I was um and even at school, I also draw. I also drew too much, I think. And I also did many things like sew, glue. Uh, I also went to many special courses about art. And I also finished an art school with a very classic way to work. And it was a good base for me. And after that, I started to take many pictures of my friends. It was just really simple, and they were really simple. And then was the COVID and quarantine. And after that, I realized that I still want to continue my work and proceed with all my ideas. And I realized, why can't I use my body only as a tool? And I think that's it. This is how I started.
Yeah, that sounds like a really incredible journey you had. So your work itself, it kind of is concerned with DIY, using products found around your house. How has this shaped your artistic vision?
I think it makes it more varied and accessible and understandable for many people who have the same items in their houses and apartments. It's interesting how an ordinary object lying around the house only, and can play in a new way in my performance and become something big and huge after I take a peek.
Yeah, that's what I always really liked about your designs. Kind of, it's really weird, but also really cool to see kind of things that you see in your kitchen, like on your body in a weird way.
Yeah.
Uh, so kind of with your work, what is your favorite part about designing with kind of like quote unquote abnormal materials?
Mm, I think making my works in general, because the process is the most important part for me, and the most incredible and interesting one as well. I think that's it.
Yeah, no, of course. So how have you found, so when, as an artist, you also kind of you kind of blur the line between art and fashion at some points. For example, your dress made out of magazine paper. So how have you found your place in the quote unquote fashion industry, and how have you found it alienating at all?
I wouldn't classify myself, especially to the fashion industry. I'm interested in parts of it, but it's interesting to work with it just at times, but most of it's very commercial, and it's very commercial project for me and not a creative one, in general. this is what I think about fashion and how I worked with it.
Yeah, no, that sounds really good. I can definitely agree. Like a lot of the fashion design seems very the same at the moment, I think, especially because of fast fashion. So I completely get what you're talking about. Um,
Yeah, and because of the borders, in fashion, because they pay money and they think that you need to do only what they want as they see my works and my art path in general, etc. And I can't feel the freedom that I do something like this. But it's okay for promotion and commercial. It's a good experience, but I'm not such a huge fan of it. It's not my cup of tea.
no, fair enough. So what is your design process? Like you mentioned the process of your kind of designs. What is it usually like? How do you go about it? Is it always the same or does it change?
Or usually I draw something in my note on the phone and also on a piece of paper or on whatever comes to hand. I outline also what materials I need for project it in my head also. And this is how I start my ideas in my mind.
Yeah, that sounds, I mean, obviously, every process is different for everyone, but I think your process sounds really kind of intricate and really interesting. So when it comes to kind of designing your work, what's your favorite part about design itself, like the process of design?
Mm, I think the most incredible thing that you can be free and create what you want and just listen your mind and write your ideas on the paper or whatever. And the release, I think, of the idea in real life, because sometimes it's really hard to represent in real life. Uh, and you can see it in your mind. It could be good, but also it couldn't be, and you never know what will be in the end of it.
My cat is gonna come in a minute, so just ignore him. If you can hear him, like ignore him. Because he's really needy. I'm gonna actually lock the cat flap.
That's fine.
Um, so with your work, you often use your body.
Yeah.
How has that changed your relationship with your body at all?
Of course, as a woman, I very often faced discrimination and I had a lot of complexes as a child, but I started to use my body as a tool to understand what I can do. And it's so, you know, variable and how free I can be. I began to feel sexier, liberated, and I realized that the body has no boundaries.
Yeah, because I completely, obviously, I also am a woman, so I can see how putting your body online in that way could be really scary, but also really empowering. So when I was looking at your work, I really admired how confident you were in your own body. Did that come through your design, or did that come with time, or have you always just felt that confident in yourself?
I think it came with time, of course, and I think with my experience, and it worked in a pair with theory about women body and about feminism as well, and about the situation in society with my researches. Like, it's a huge work, I think, in general, and it's hard to choose only one part of the most important one. But and now I'm continuing to fight against the society's rules, and especially about the women. it's really important because I was born in a really conservative place, in a very conservative country. There, a woman can be like a person, and it can be like an animal or a piece of meat, you know.
Yeah, I completely understand. I think your work, especially because of where you live, is just even more important. So I really admire you for the work you're doing. So I suppose another thing I wanted to ask you was, do you have any designers in particular that particularly inspire you, or any photographers or artists? Is there anyone you kind of look to as a source of inspiration?
I think that I really like Michaela Stark. Probably you know her, uh, Jürgen Teller, Namio Hurakava, if I'm not mistaken, Alice Neal, uh, Joanna Petrovska, also Maria Lessing, if I'm not mistaken too.
Yeah,
But I
what
love
about their work
many.
draws you towards it?
They are very different. You know, one of them is a performer, and Michaela Stark is a designer and plus artist, as I think. Naomio Horikawa, he was born, I think, in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, and his work about women domination and sexuality in the world. Uh, and Maria Lassing, I can't actually describe her style in general, but she was a very famous artist uh, in last century, if I'm not mistaken too, because I'm not good in theory, because I know many artists and directors. I also love movie directors uh, like Lars von Trier, Sorrentino, Pablo Sorrentino, and Michael Haneke. Um, I think that's it. That's everything that I remember right now.
I know that that's a
Or
really great list, a really diverse range of artists. I can kind of like imagine where each of your work is kind of inspired by each of them. But yeah, I think it's really interesting
it's
how
all
wide
about
range.
me, you know. I love them because they are like part of me, and
Yeah, of
they
course.
reflect me, and I reflect it in my works too because it's me, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I suppose like another thing would be which piece, is there like one particular piece that you made that was particularly difficult for you to make or that comes to mind and why was that?
Mm, you are asking me about my inspiration.
Yes. So if this a piece that you made, was it particularly difficult to make for you? Was it like the process was really difficult? Maybe kind of your idea behind it was really difficult. Is there a
Sorry,
piece that
sorry.
was really hard for
I
you? That's
changed.
okay.
Yeah, I changed. Okay. So I think that it was really hard to work with expensive materials because I was really nervous to probably do something wrong, you know, and probably something could be wrong. And uh, also with probably with cigarettes
Yeah, I've seen the
because
one that you're talking about. Is it one with the eyes?
no, I have a cigarette dress. It was full of,
Wow.
yeah, it was full of cigarettes, and there were a lot of cigarettes, and it was really hard to proceed with it because I was really tired to contain all this, you know, and my assistant even was really tired.
I can imagine. How long did that take you?
About 6 or 7 hours.
I actually thought it'd be much longer. I thought you were going to be like, oh, 2 months. That's really impressive.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy.
yeah, 6 and 7 hours is not long at all to like put every little cigarette on a dress. That's insane. What's your, do you have like, which has been your longest piece to make?
Um, I think that I make my costumes and ideas for someone else. Uh, it's always huge projects, and that's why I need more time to do them, about a week or two. Mm, usually, for myself, I think the hardest one was with a cigarette, with cigarettes, the cigarette dress.
Yeah, no, the one that you mentioned before was that was, do you think that was the hardest? Yeah, definitely. I can't imagine. I honestly can't imagine having to do that. Um, so you recently started working with your own NFTs, because as you can tell, I've been stalking your Instagram. What do you think about the rise of NFTs in art and fashion? Do you like it? Do you not like it? How do you feel about
I don't really know how how to say my opinion right now, because it's really difficult for me to analyze everything that's happening with NFT right now, because I'm not really good with it, and I don't get well with it.
it?
Uh, yeah, I tried it, but I still do not realize my opinion and my attitude to NFT right now. But I think it's needable, and it's a good way for artists to earn money and to be independent. But I heard that it's very bad for an ecological situation.
I don't know. Honestly, I can't keep up with all of the NFT news. Like every single day, you come online, it's like, oh, someone else is promoting a new NFT, or like it's just crazy. Like it was almost like everyone woke up one day and suddenly was like, oh, I'm just gonna buy all these monkeys, and now it's just insane.
Yeah.
Um, so I suppose the last question I really have for you was what I know, I bet you get asked this all the time, so but it's really annoying. But what are your plans for the future?
Moving to London, moving on to London and create something new in very different ways. I want to proceed with art direction, but in a huge scale. And I want to make more inside designs. I want to take part in really big shots. And I want to try to apply for galleries and open calls in London also. And I don't know how to explain all my plans, because they're really huge, and I want to try many things in my life and in the nearest future, even um,
What
music
inspired you
videos.
to move to London? Why London? Sorry, that's a personal
Mm,
question.
the answer will be very simple, because I know only English.
So no Paris.
and I have many familiars there, and I don't know why, but I got a lot of work from London, and in general, it seems to me very convenient for me, and I see my future there, and it's good for artists and for the music video that I want to do in the future. And there are a lot of good music artists there too, with who I want to work in the future.
So this music video, do you mind telling me a bit more about it? You don't have
Now,
to.
no, it's a secret.
Okay.
You'll see in the future.
Ah, that's exciting.
Don't forget to follow my Instagram to see new content.
Very, very mysterious.
Yes, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. You can find Maya's work on her Instagram, which will be linked below. The Instagram is also underscore the MAIY underscore to see more of her incredible pieces. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for this interview. Bye bye.